Hello there. I totally knew it was recording because I just pushed the button. My name is Matthew, and today I'll be talking about plants. And what are plants? We walk around outside and we're enjoying the shade of a tree or the cushiness of the grass, even the smell of a nice flower. And these are all derived from plants. We can also put plants in our house to make us a little bit more excited about coming home and enjoying our space, especially if you're stuck inside because of a pandemic. So, take a walk outside and look at all the plants. What do you see? How many different types do you see? Anything that you see in common amongst all the plants? Maybe you have some red leaves, or you have some green leaves, and try and identify the similarities between all the plants. Now, modern scientists have simplified a definition of plants into two components. The first is that all plants are multicellular, which means they're comprised of multiple cells. I have a model plant cell here, and it has some distinct features, but plants are always made of more than one cell. And so we'd have these cells all stacked and pressed against each other, and they can communicate with each other with little holes in these things. These are called the plant cell wall. So this is the wall, and on the inside we have a membrane, and there's other stuff in there that we can talk about later. But the first part is that plants are multicellular. Secondarily, plants are photosynthetic, which means that they can take electromagnetic energy, or they can take light and convert it into sugar. So they take electromagnetic energy of light and convert it into a chemical energy of sugar. And that's done in the chloroplast, which is a specific structure in the cell that has these antennas to catch the light. So that's what a plant is. It's simplified. I mean, there's examples of things that don't meet that definition, but that's a good starting point.
3, 2, 1, go!
When we look at plants and where they came from, it's always good to begin at the beginning, with the beginning of the universe. Billions and billions of years ago, the universe came into existence. 13.8 billion years ago, our universe started. And then 470 million years ago, we had the first land plants. Now, this is not too long ago actually, but it's significantly longer than the first great apes, which was 20 million years ago. Now, these first organisms were relatively simple, single-celled living organisms that lived in extreme environments on the Earth. Maybe really hot, high pressure, maybe some compounds and chemicals that would be dangerous to us. But over time, the different organisms adapted and they changed their characteristics over many generations to fit that environment. This is called evolution. Evolution is the process in which characteristics change over many generations, driven by natural selection. Natural selection is a slow, gradual process of organisms changing their characteristics over time to best suit their environment. This relies on two components: an inheritance, which are that characteristics can be passed on from parent to offspring, and then these characteristics are reproducible in the group. Secondarily, natural selection relies on competition, which is adaptation of organisms in a group to essentially have the best fit characteristics pass on to their offspring. And so this makes offspring better suited for the environment. To put it simply, an organism that is able to survive in its environment with the best characteristics will be able to have the most offspring. And those offspring will produce a variety of different offspring with different characteristics, but similar to that of the parent, or the same, or different combinations of those characteristics. And then this process completes. And through competition between organisms for the ability to reproduce, then we would have the best fit surviving in that environment. And so over millions and millions of years, this is what gave rise to our great diversity of plant life, from the bright red leaves of this poinsettia to the kind of simple looking blades of this grass underneath. That's why we have such a great diversity, is because there are a variety of environments and different ecological roles to be filled by plants, or that could have been filled by plants. So, in today's discussion, we talked about what a plant is, the plant definition. The plant is a multicellular organism, and it's usually, well, it is photosynthetic. There's some examples that are not, but generally they're photosynthetic, which means they'd be green, and they take light energy, and they convert it into sugar. And then we talked about evolution and natural selection. On the next episode of whatever the hell this is, we're going to be talking about naming plants and how do we name them and where do plants get their names. I shouldn't have said whatever the hell this is. I know what this is. It's called PlantStuff.